One of our practices every week as we gather together here is to confess in unison one of the historic creeds of the Christian church. Now, many evangelical churches in America see such a practice as an opportunity for repetition to breed indifference, for familiarity to beget complacency, and thus for the confession of the beautiful and glorious truths of the Christian faith to become a rote recitation of lifeless orthodoxy. Now, it's easy for us to point out the opposite error, that unfamiliarity with these creeds begets theological anemia in a congregation. And of course, we don't want that either. But fortunately, we do not have to choose between theological anemia on the one hand and a lifeless orthodoxy on the other. As Chesterton once said, there never was anything so perilous or so exciting as orthodoxy. You see, the act of confessing our common faith is our collective response to God's gracious work to reveal the gospel of his Son to us. God speaks first, and then we respond. As we confess, God singles us out as his baptized people, those identified with the church throughout the ages and around the world. He assembles us as his holy army and calls us to swear allegiance to King Jesus, that we might be prepared to be used by him as his agents in the midst of a sinful and broken world. And if that is the case, then the exhortation for us is simple. Every week, as we confess the creed, mean what you say. Say it like you mean it, and teach your children to do likewise. Make a habit of confessing the creed cheerfully and with gusto. As one theologian put it, a confession cannot be spoken mezzo forte, that is, moderately loud. A confession cannot be mumbled through. It cannot be spoken under your breath. You are swearing your allegiance to King Jesus. When you confess those words, I believe, you are declaring that what is contained in these words is your life. You have permission to go beyond an inside voice. So our tone must be cheerful and reverent. Our speech should be clear as we speak with conviction, and our volume should be thunderous enough to cause the principalities and powers to tremble in fear. And if the practice of confessing the creeds is going to be a generational blessing for us, handed down to our children's children, rather than an indictment on us like so many unfaithful churches today, then we must do all of this with an eye towards our children, teaching them to delight in proclaiming the excellencies of our great God.